And my name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is Election Brief. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and all our social media handles are Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @TheNana Aisha. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, SEMA, AICPA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation. Election Headquarters is for an informed electorate. Please do stay for details. Tension at EC office in Lambusi in the Upper West region as the youth mount resistance to an attempt by NPP candidate there to bar scores of people from Numero, a village in Sisala West constituency, to Lambusi to transfer their votes there. Police are overwhelmed and the military reinforcements has been called in. Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam has joined me with more on this. Rafiq Salam, what more can you tell us about this incident? Rafiq Salam?
This issue of transferring votes in the Upper West region, where people have been bussed to some of the centers, has been on for the past couple of days. And so the NDC in the region are really deeply worried about the issue. In the case of the Lambusi constituency, the information that we gleaned on indicated that yesterday, the issue started yesterday, where they have bussed several people from the one municipality to Lambusi for the transfer of votes. And then also what actually broke the camel's back was today when several buses were spotted moving from the Sisala West around the Numero area moving to Lambusi. And then some agitated members of the NDC said that they won't allow that to happen. So there was a standoff between the two political parties until the security agency came to resolve the matter. But the information that I'm getting from Lambusi indicates that they have been able to solve the issue. The buses, they were prevented from being transferred because there was the issue of this identity. Some of the people who came around would not identify the various houses that they were coming from the constituency. They were just not ordinary citizens of that particular constituency, and so they have to ask them to move away with their buses.
What was the situation as we speak now? Has calm returned to the area?
For now, calm has returned to the area. At least there's an uneasy calm at that particular constituency. Following the movement of the buses, now things are now a little bit calmer in the constituency.
And two political parties, how are they handling this issue?
The issue was resolved because some of the people who came to do the voter transfer actually were not from the constituency. These were people who were not also even ordinary residents of the constituency. Even when they were quizzed and asked about the houses that they were staying in the constituency, they even couldn't give the house numbers. And so because of that, their buses were turned away.
Rafiq Salam, with that update from Lambusi and the Upper West region, we'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins as we get those updates. Now, some residents in Kumasi have expressed varied sentiments as speculations grow regarding the possible selection of an Ashanti running mate for the New Patriotic Party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahama. While many individuals express excitement about the speculated choice, others express reservations about the decision. Political scientist Dr. Amache Boateng is optimistic. However, the selection of a running mate from the Ashanti region is what will augur well for the party. Nana Boache Yadom has more.
A very crucial moment for the New Patriotic Party as demand grows on its flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to select a running mate who hails from the Ashanti region. Well, some names that have popped up include the Member of Parliament for Mensha South and Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, the Education Minister and Member of Parliament for the Bosumtwe constituency, Dr. Osei Yao Educhum, and not forgetting the Chief of Staff, Frema Osei Opare. Well, these choices would support the ticket of the flag bearer into the crucial 2024 presidential election.
There has been increasing expectation for an announcement of running mate for MPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The pressure comes particularly from the Ashanti region, asking for its representation on the presidential ticket. While many express excitement about the speculated consideration, others underscore the need for careful deliberation when choosing candidates.
Looking at the choice of presidential candidate they have and the current economic situations we have in Ghana, MPP has no choice than to pick a running mate from the Ashanti region. And because it is already, we have the Akan faction, that conversation that says that the MPP is more of an Akan. To play very safe for the MPP, they have no other option than to pick a running mate from the Ashanti region.
Yeah, I say any pani obi o mine no obeti ma boa ma mine toto ya ye beye no. E beye kama ama obi a ho ato no. It is say be free Ashanti region, say be free different region. Next way nipa oba obeti mi ebu mine na me ho ato ya ye ni problem. Me dem gina finfin ni na enka hwe. Ebi so oba bi so beti mi aba e bia na enye, be ma so beti mi aba na e bia na enye. Na emom si ebe yi obi o wonim de ne mo. No mine toto ya beye kama na no pa ne hia.
According to political scientists at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Amachi Boateng, the decision is long overdue.
Whether I see a potential running mate from Ashanti region, I don't think twice about that. I don't blink my eyes to say that the running mate is coming from Ashanti region. You see, politics is essentially driven by interest. So if you go in there, the kingmakers in the MPP on this running mate issue, it's not necessarily something that Dr. Bawumia will have his own way. I like this man for ABC. I've presented him or her, and then they say, okay, we support you, let's move on. No. They all have vested interest in who, one, becomes the flag bearer, and then two, who becomes the running mate. They have vested interest.
Citing the current economic woes as a challenge for the MPP to break the eight, Dr. Amachi Boateng believes a well-represented Ashanti running mate is an important choice.
And so this disaffection in Ashanti region had to be addressed by the party. So the decision to pick, or the need for the party to pick the running mate from Ashanti region is dependent on the current situation here. They have to go out there to try to send a very special message to the people of Ashanti region.
For voters and experts, a running mate from the Ashanti region, the World Bank of the NPP, could potentially strengthen party cohesion and solidify the party base. But can the choice really come from the Ashanti region? The flag bearer would have to decide. For Joy News, my name is Nana Boachi Dankwayado, Kumasi.
Still on the NPP, former chairman of the party, Peter McMahon, has praised the Electoral Commission for executing its job with professionalism, despite some challenges surrounding its just-ended limited voter registration exercise and voter transfer exercise. Mr. McMahon said he admires the Commission's efforts. In an exclusive interview with Benjamin Akakwo on the AM show, he stated that the EC's performance is so far the best.
If you have lived and voted in this country, or if you have taken part in the entire electoral process since 1992, you would agree with me that the current EC is doing well.
How so?
I have been in this country when the use of the word "tot" came into being, because at the district assembly elections, we couldn't do it simultaneously on one day. I voted then at Sekendi. I was driving to Sekendi to go and vote. Before I go to Kaswa, an announcement came that the Sekendi elections are postponed.
Just
what I am saying is that their performance now, because the last polls on their performance I came across was from CDD. I think that was in 2020 or 2016, one of them. And the respondents scored them, I think, 65%. Yes, check from CDD records. It was the highest for any EC in this country. And for even the current Electoral Commission to bring what they call let the citizens know. Let the citizens know. They want the Ghanaians to know and ask questions. That is even one of their strongest points. And any mistake that they have made the strongest attempt to correct it. They have not allowed the mistakes to lie fallow. No.
Peter McMahon also spoke about the monetization of politics.
I have asked various electoral commissions, from Dr. Afrejam to Mrs. Mensah,
right,
why they have not been so much interested in political party financing. Because they are in charge of political party accounts. Because every year, every election, we are supposed to send statement of our accounts to them. But I think they must give suggestions to Parliament for certain laws to be amended or reforms. For me, if you ask me, I would say we should go the South African way,
which is
proportional representation. So one, proportional representation eliminates internal party primaries. Okay? Because the party sends the list.
There's a configuration that been issued
of the list.
Right.
And I don't think prospective people who are on the list paid monies to the party headquarters before their names appeared on the list. I don't think so. But human beings as we are, remember, when President Obama won the US presidency and elevated himself from Senate seat to the presidency under the US laws, the party has the right to fill that vacancy until the next election. And the governor of the state took money from somebody and filled
that person.
Which ultimately led him to jail. So if anything comes up, we have various arms of government that has to deal with them. I'm not saying as a party we cannot be found guilty. No, if we have done anything untoward, the PNDC law 284 on political parties do justice to bribery and cheating in elections.
So the MPP is fallible. That's what you're saying.
Oh, you can't do that.
No, I'm saying you are fallible. You are saying you are imperfect, which means you are not perfect. That's all I'm saying.
You have to be in a court of law. You don't. The Chicago thing I'm telling you, or even as recent as January, a Nigerian governor from Ogun State who murmured money to some voters and was caught, and he's being tried. I mean, you have to go through the entire system of justice. You don't sit comfortably in your arm here and tell somebody he's fallible. No, that's not.
Well, I'm not mentioning any individual. I'm saying
you're
the party.
MPP. Yes.
I'm saying the party.
You are mentioning MPP.
You are saying that the party then is also susceptible to mistakes. That's what I'm trying to say. When I say fallible, I don't know how you are
I'm saying,
grasping it. But
I'm saying that
this is what I mean.
That there are laws in this country, and I've quoted PNDC law 284, Political Parties Act, various sections that deal with bribery, cheating, and corruption in elections. So there are laws that can be enforced.
Okay.
And as we speak, some of them are being enforced by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. If you recall, a would-be district chief executive paid some monies to some assemblymen for his endorsement. and he lost. And then he went.
Are you referencing the one who actually came out and said people should pay his money back? Is that the one you are referencing? Because there was the one who also came and said, I paid people
the
this
matter
much.
is in
that one is in the hands of the special prosecutor.
Well, economist and political analyst Dr. Theo Champon says the credibility of flag bearers and their running mates will be one of the deciding factors in the 2024 general election. Speaking on Joy News PM Express, Dr. Champon explained the electorates have been shown a number of promises that the candidates are already making. But if you unpack it a little further, there are things to do with the size of government, social interventions, poverty eradication, corruption, youth unemployment, agriculture, and reducing the food import bill, as well as tax reforms. He says citizens have fundamental questions about which of the parties with their flag bearers and running mates have the credibility in terms of loyalty and trust to address these promises.
A growing dissatisfaction amongst many citizens when it comes to politics, and the outcome of politics being the ability to deliver good public services and improve their economic well-being. And you can see various data points to support this from Afrobarometer and other surveys that have been carried out, over the months and over the years, where increasingly the citizens are becoming disenchanted in terms of how politics is practiced, number one, but number two, that the politics is not necessarily improving their lot, but rather bettering the lot of a few people within certain circles. And this then gives rise to what I think are the two biggest factors that would drive or determine the outcome of this election. And the biggest one, in my view, is the economy and the cost of living concerns. There are a number of surveys around, and I'm sure both parties have been polling, Ghanaians to ask about, their concerns. And consistently, you will see the issue of the economy manifesting, specifically three things under that: inflation, interest rates or cost of borrowing, and then the CD, the forex rate, because that practically determines everything that happens to people's, living within the country, especially if you're living in some of the more urban settings in this country, where again the data shows that urban inequality actually is on the rise and people are becoming more and more poorer. The second thing that would matter a lot to citizens and the credibility of the candidate and also their running mate, right? And this basically translates into two things under credibility. For me, the issue of loyalty and the issue of trust. So which of these candidates, given the economic issues that are bedeviling the economy, given the fact that there's a growing dissatisfaction with how we practice politics and the outcomes of that, would be able to fundamentally improve their lot.
NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has promised to introduce a pension scheme for commercial drivers in the private sector if he wins the December polls. The former president, who was interacting with members of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union GPRTU, assured of a broader consultation with stakeholders on ways to cushion the lives of commercial drivers through the introduction of a pension scheme.
Yebehwe yanum betrans ni ahwe kwan a yebetimi aye IHSS ye de bosia ne ba ne eto a yebe make sure say yebetimi agi sika no na asan ko fund no mu na ye de ato basis no so that ene we nya ochina na we anya ochina echi na we anya se ne be ya emre bia ye cash no be ye mono na yamfa cash dada ananti ama accidents ama nti no so ya de yebehwe Yane new plan for Bekasa. If you say your bus assembly plant or Ghana, Into some buses, no, young Kasa Ebitimi assemble buses or her, especially large, heavy buses, no. Into any new plan for Bekasa, na yenya assembly plant or her. Now you see me assemble buses, no, and sell the buses in cedis, and yet dollarization the be sell it in cedis so that nebo be from kakra near to me at the unions, you know, to operate transport operators to operate and pay. If you say share labor cost Ghana lower, basa ya assemble or her. The cost be lower chain bus assemble or Germany. If you say Germany, workers assemble bus, no, the market you am po at the Kahwa, nature say bus nebo air costro. And so the parts number Hanaya Yankasa, ya assembler, a beman nebo aba from Kakra. Senebea, ya near the ama unions, no, Namudia Yejuma, into Mutia, na yes ye new plan near the buses no for. Na big buses and small buses and so. HSA yade ebeye juma Toyota highest size no and as a oven Nissan oven size no and also here especially for urban transport short distances no sa buses no so here and you might be brave or what yene mo aka maybe also yentimi emfanye juma and your pension scheme for drivers say Samria NDC aban babium extremo ye ba ye no montrase ne structure a good pension scheme send a driver or wa honde a oye adwuma onya sika kakra ne ye de to ho ne ye de to ho ne ye de to ho e bedru mre a obeye mre a che say all call retirement no na eja ono so nya bibi kakra e de akofie.
The former president also pledged to reintroduce a collection of road tolls on major highways across the country. The toll collection, according to him, will be expected to generate revenue for fund and to also fund the construction and repair of roads in the country.
Nature any road tolls. Road tolls, yes, according to the road fund, DCSA yakwan. Caneno and no any CSA I de fill potholes near the day. If you say okay say budget and diana and juma. And so I was say yes send a beji road tolls na if me imagine ye. If you say what share Burkina truck see the way almost see a load do a omode your my co ni na say yakwan. And so yanji tools into omufamu sa no moko. And so they troubled and nashe, oh, call a honey hair, I'll bet you at all. And he told me they will see a samba. And so I'll see a year toll plaza no. Send a bear Emma traffic and ma. Okohu toll plaza, ebia 4 lanes. Now share traffic a fast aquino so 4 lanes into me and survey traffic na efemuno. Now ka brocha obehu plaza ebia 20 something a yinti way for her. Enti ma traffic ma kwano so enti ye behwe sa toll plazas ni na yahwe na ye electronic gates enti wa umpe delay bia auto chip now there a toll car so udru ha gate na nkasa be bia no afam enti ye behwe na ye no anso ansa na ye be mo ye partners ye no mbetna na ya discuss as stakeholders ansa na ya implementing bibia sene be ya ibenye sika se portal backline no ma na etimi esiano na etrese ye vehicles no ache amai.
You're the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama. Now, some prospective first-time voters living with varied forms of disabilities are calling for a quota system that will allow them to fully participate in the governance of the country. According to them, successive governments have paid lip service to addressing their concerns, particularly the implementation of the Disability Act, which requires all public buildings to be made accessible to persons with disabilities. They believe their involvement in all aspects of leadership will ensure their aspirations and needs are adequately met. Listen to the interaction with Joy Prime's lawyer Shola Adeyemi on Just Turned 18.
They stigmatize us, so they should give the opportunity for persons with disability to also participate in legislation so that at least they will know, because they will be persons with disability, they're in our shoes, right? So they will know what we need and they will be able to meet our needs. So they should give equal opportunities to persons with disability to also be stakeholders.
But we've already had a minister. He was the OT Regional Minister, Joseph Makubu, who was in there a few months or years ago. He was a person with disability. So are we saying it's not like anybody hasn't been there? Are we asking for more?
Yeah, he's the only person I know of. And I think former minister, that's Dr. Sedi Dana. So I think two is less, so we need more. Okay. Yeah.
Lois, are you agreeing with her? I see you nodding.
I agree with her too, because people who are in your shoes are the best people who will be able to help you in any situation. So if the government truly practices inclusivity, it should show in every aspect of leadership. They should also be given the opportunity to work there, make decisions for us, channel our problems through us, and then get solutions to them.
Isaiah, I can also see you doing this. You keep nodding. I see you agreeing.
When we are also in the same shoe, then I think we will be able to voice out our needs so that it can be addressed. So I think, yeah, more of the people living with disabilities should be involved in the decision making in the country.
And that's your election brief. It's on your election headquarters and is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountant and AICPA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, and a convenience service, and the Youth Bridge Foundation. Election headquarters is for an informed electorate. You can log on to myjournline.com for more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. And over there, you see stories like the ambulance case, court dismisses Ato Forson's application for mistrial. There's also AG Jakpate. There's no basis to allow inquiry into Godfrey Dame's conduct. That's according to the judge. And then there is damage to Taman Pakadan train pegged at 2.1 million. Prosecution tells court. Chiefs blame contractors' refusal to pour libation for Gomwa East flooding. There is more when you get on to myjournline.com. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.